Good evening. Glad to see you're all here tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about service reporting, why and how. The why the question why often comes up. So I thought I would incorporate the answer, a series of answers with the how we report service. So that's on the agenda tonight. This is being recorded and it will be posted up on YouTube and along with all the other recordings that I made over the past few years. And well, let's see what sort of damage we can do. First of all, like always, I knew it. I knew it. One more. Like always, I do need to inform you that the information training schedule is always posted on the MD19 website. It's always current, always available. So don't hesitate to connect there and see what's going on. And now for something a little bit different. A PSA from LCIF. So I thought that was a pretty good intro for service reporting, and so that's why I thought I'd run that one. So let's talk about the why. There's a series of good answers as to why we need to report service. And the one of the biggest reasons is because it shows the impact of our service around the world. I've got several bullets attached to each of these things, including this one. Every project adds to the Lions worldwide service total and legacy. It adds to our story, and and reporting captures real impact, captures oftentimes, if you're willing to do it, captures pictures as well as information, and it has an impact. And it supports the messages like we served over 300 million people this year, you know, and and the question, of course, comes up, how do you know 300 million? We've documented it. We know it's there. And it's because all of our clubs participate in reporting their service activities. It strengthens the club's credibility and visibility. Us as Lions, we have a great deal of credibility. We have a great deal of respect from our community simply because we are Lions. And this activity, this reporting activity, helps increase that credibility, helps increase that respect, as well as the visibility, because it demonstrates community value and transparency. Anybody can see what we're doing. It helps to qualify for awards like Club Excellence Awards, yeah. And it builds partnerships and local recognition. Partnerships is especially important when it comes to working within our community because many times we can't do it all ourselves, so we partner with others. It guides future planning and support. The data helps the district and MD19 leaders identify areas of need. It guides training, it directs training, funding, and LCIF granting decisions. And of course, it connects clubs with shared goals. This thing about future planning, it's one of the primary tools of every club leadership is planning for the future and the succession of leadership, how they're going to be planning, how they're going to be looking forward. It celebrates and inspires others. Many times, One club will see the activities of another club and say, hey, that's a good idea. Yeah. Some of us are known for visiting other clubs for the sole purpose of larceny. We're not there to steal the podium. We're not there to steal the bell or the gavel or anything like that. We're there to steal their ideas. And we bring those ideas back to our club and our district. I've been doing that for a long, long time. And people think I'm a genius because I am always coming up with this stuff, when in fact I'm just stealing it from other clubs, just to let you know. So reporting clubs tells other clubs what's going on. It recognizes volunteers and motivates our members, and it highlights a service that inspires others to act likewise. And I like that part of it. And it ensures long-term sustainability. I mentioned this before. Leadership is looking. This is one of the primary tools in their toolkit is sustainability. Things that we've been doing. Can we continue this on? Can we expand on it? It preserves club history. It preserves lessons learned, and it promotes strategic, data-driven leadership instead of opinions and it might be and so forth. We've got actual data to help us decide what, where, how, when, and why. So in summary, I love this little saying, if it's not reported, it didn't happen, at least in the eyes of the world. And Lions who report their service make their impact visible, their reputation stronger, their legacy lasting. Cool stuff. Now let's look at the how. And in order to do that, I'm going to stop the share because I'm going to switch my share screens over to this. I got to hear via another way. Let me illustrate. On the Lions International webpage, wherever you are on the Lions International webpage, up at the top, there's always a link right here, the Lion Portal. All of our reporting is done through the Lion Portal. And when you click on that little link for the Lion Portal, if you've never been here, then of course this is going to be empty and you need to do something about that. There's a little tool down here at the bottom that says, don't have an account. You'll walk through that, you answer several questions, including your membership number. And your club secretary always has your membership number. They'll want your membership number, valid email address, and name usually helps. Yeah, that too. And it's just that simple. You get a confirmation email, and you set up the account that way. It's easy. It's not really difficult at all. Once you've established your account, then of course you go into the Lion Portal. Again, the link at the top of the Lions International webpage, and we log in and away we go. Now, when working on this aspect of of Lions, reporting our service activities, what we can see, what we can do, what we can edit, what we can add, subtract, many times depends on our position within our organization. Club president, club secretary, service chair, district governor, council chair, etc. And what you can see and what you can do is dependent on that particular role. And if you have more than one role, if you hold more than one officer position within your club or district or whatever, you need to walk through this process to make sure you're talking from the right role that you have. What am I talking about? Allow me to illustrate. I'm going up here to my district, MD and CA, because I want to get to a menu on the left-hand side as soon as it comes up. What are you talking about? Let me try this again. In all actuality, that frequently happens when I am teaching online because the video feed that I am providing, it's an in and out, it's a two-way video feed. And then I complicate it with activities online. That same connection to the internet is now crowded with my activity online. So I sometimes run into that. So bear with me if we see it again. So what I want to do is I want to look at my current officer titles, and those are them down here. Right now, I'm club president, and as president, I can report service activities. I can also, I'll get to that. Reporting is one thing, completing the reporting process is a second thing. So I'm going to connect this way. Everything we see in blue is a link. So I'm connecting this way, connecting to my club information. And within my club information, there's a whole lot of stuff going on over here. I can see details about the members, the officers. I can do a data export. We've all come to know and love the data export where you download information about, like for instance, club members and service activities. This is also where we can see our statements, the invoices from Lions International, clubs that we have sponsored, and new club applications that may be in the process. And of course, we want to go over here to club activities. Now, again, I have connected in and I have told the portal that I am the club president. So therefore, there are many things that are available to me here in the service activities page. Thank goodness. And this is the activities page. Our club has served over 1,400 people so far this year. Four volunteers. Yeah. Oh, I've got I've got some stuff that I was demoing in the last session, and I need to get rid of these. There's another latecomer. So it's got our summary information. Now, this is at the club level. I can also see what's going on with my Leo's Club. I can also see what's going on with donations and fundraisers and of course this right here, service activity type. I'm going to be seeing all of the activity types. If I wanted to narrow down to see a summary of the different service activities that we've done with regards to diabetes or hunger or vision, I can see those subcategories as well. So I haven't selected anything, which is cool. And I want to return this back to the Lions Club, my club activities, because I want to report a new service activity. And when I open up this page, it's set up in two columns. By the way, I should also mention while I'm waiting for this, I should also mention that the programmers there at Lions International are continuously updating and modifying and tweaking and making this a little bit more better. And so therefore, and this has happened to me more than once within the last 6 months, where I've gone in to do something, service activities, membership activities, other reports and so forth, and things have changed. What was over here is now over here. What I could not do because I couldn't find the tool is now listed in the menu. Expect changes. Okay. So I'm going to confirm that I'm working with my club. And of course, enter a title for the service activity. It just so happens that this last Saturday we did a service activity, and I always call it the Clear Creek Trail Cleanup. And of course, what type? This is a service project. Within the service project, there are other categories. There are categories that I need to assign to this as well. And part of this is found in here. So right now, notice up here at the top, this is a draft. It's not yet complete. And this box is not available for me to use because I haven't filled in anything. Well, that makes sense. So I wander on down and I need to provide some details. The pencils indicate, or pen, if you will, indicate this is a field that you can edit, add or subtract or modify. In this case, it's a calendar type or a date type field. So I want to note that this happened on the 8th and it ended likewise on the 8th. The cause, here we go, and that would be, oh, environment. And then within environment, there's a whole bunch of other categories, subcategories, if you will. And John Gardner and I worked the trail throughout. We do not consider this our signature activity. We have something else that we do. Total people served. This is always a guess. And I believe the maximum value that you can put in here is 300, I think. I usually do 100. The purpose of I should explain, the purpose of the trail, it is a public trail for people walking or jogging. It is not for bicycles, that sort of stuff. And the trail started as, about 20 years ago, as something fairly small, a couple of miles, and it has expanded over the years. And it is now probably a good 30 miles, and they have plans for the future, expanding it further. So, and there are different organizations, businesses, nonprofits, and so forth that have responsibility for maintenance of certain parts of the trail. And of course, we've had ours for a very, very long time, and we maintain that. And our portion of the trail in a typical Saturday, in a typical day, in a typical week, in a typical month. Yeah. So how do we calculate this? 100? I anticipate at least 100 per week. I could easily say 300, but it's pure guesswork on my part. So I've always plugged in 100. And total volunteer hours, 2 hours each, so total of four, and total number of volunteers was two. And both of us are Lions, so neither of those fields work. Additional metrics, if any of these apply, of course, you can go ahead and fill them in. Start time, sure, we can do that. Start time happened at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, and it concluded at noon. See if I can find my way there. There we are. Venue, yeah. Wasn't a venue as I suppose I could put Clicker Trail, but that's kind of repetitious. It has no specific address because it's such a long trail. So I'm going to leave the rest of that empty. And I do a review. At this point, I do a review and I say to myself, I've done everything right. I haven't missed anything. And if I have not missed anything, I'm not going to click on save just yet. Instead, I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to assign this as a complete report. Now, the reason I do it now is because all the relevant information is assembled right here. If I am still missing some pieces of information, I can fill in what I have and not assign the checkbox here, and then come back later on and complete it and fill it in and make it work that way. In this case, it's complete. And now I motor down to the bottom and select save. It's that simple. Ooh, I should have mentioned I can still go in here and make some modifications, including uploading some pictures. I didn't take any pictures, and so and I believe they allow a maximum of two pictures, as I recall. It's been a while since I've done that, but they allow a maximum of two pictures. Lions International does like the pictures. They do. Sometimes those pictures are used in publicity. Sometimes those pictures are used in the Lions magazine. Sometimes on a web page, et cetera, et cetera. They do like pictures. So if you got some good pictures, don't hesitate to upload them and include them in. So once again, my report is complete, and now I report it to LCI, and away it goes. It's just that simple. It's a matter of filling in the blanks. After it's done, I can still, whether today or next month, I can still go here and I can edit any part of this that I need to. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes I get something wrong and that's cool. I can come back and modify and make it work that way. It's not really difficult. It really isn't. I want to emphasize that back over here in the service menu, as I bring this up, it shows us a summary of what's going on. And this is this current Lions year. You can also look at last year and you can look at many prior years. Before I do that, I want to do some cleanup. I don't like this lack of cleanup here. Rah, rah, rah. So I'm going to do some cleanup here. Um, every service activity is assigned a unique serial number. So by clicking on the serial number, I can bring up that information. And from here, I can delete this practice. And I did this last time I did a training session on reporting service activities. You notice nothing is in here. So I'm going to delete this guy and they'll want a confirmation. Cool. And now I should see 3 items that are incomplete. Ah, yeah, okay. It's gonna, that 24 hours thing, I guess, is absolutely correct. Okay, so I'm gonna delete the other two. Oh, I see something in the chat while I'm going. Can a husband of a club member be counted in volunteer hours for a given activity? Yes. As a non-lion, yes, absolutely. What is signature activity? That is for every club to decide what is their signature activity. And signature activity generally refers to the activity, the service activity that that club is best known for. And so it's really, up to your club on how they want to figure that out. I'm not getting a an update. Here we are. Good question. Thank you. Let me show you where um, non-Lions participated. Non-Lion family members participated. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to delete this guy as well. Confirm that. That was the second one. I want to do the third. I chuckled. The name I assigned to that was More Stuff. Real accurate description there, wasn't it? Yeah. That was the third. And let me do one more. And then we can look at some of our history. Because many times the question comes up, and, didn't we do something like that 3 years ago, And well, you can look it up, confirm. Okay. When the screen refreshes, I'm going to instruct it to look at activities from years past. I don't want the district. I could look at district activities and MD, multiple district 19 activities as well. And it's all public. Nothing is hidden here. And of course, when you're looking at the district activities, that's all of the clubs in the district that have reported their service. For my time frame, I'm going to select all because I'm not sure how far back it goes. I see the update here was 28. How far back did it go? To 24, 23. Okay, so it went back to 23. Clear Creek Trail, once again. So when we were doing this with my LCI a long time ago, all that information we fed, it was fed into a database. And when they changed the to the Line Portal system that we have now, they took that database and plugged it in and able to make use of it here. Now, it only goes back to 2023. Yeah, I know. I wish it went back a lot further, but it is what it is. So there it is. It's possible, I don't know this for sure. I say it's possible that your club, if you need some important information from something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's possible because it went into a database. If it was reported on MyLCI, if it went into the database, it's possible that they could retrieve that information. I don't know. The worst that they're going to tell you is no if you ask. So there it is. While I'm in here, I also want to point out that this is where we account for donations. This is where we account for our fundraising activities. And we can also, and I don't do this, and I suspect most service committee chairs and secretaries don't. You can report your regular club meetings. You can report your board meetings. You can report your zone meetings, your district cabinet meetings. Any sort of a meeting, organizational meeting that you go to that's Lions Club in some way, you can report that as an activity. You can account for your time and effort. Yeah. Now I haven't been doing it. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. We 2 weeks ago we did a fundraiser, a 5 mile and or 5K and a 1K race, and we haven't got all the money coming that has been pledged hasn't all yet come in. So I will be assigning the fundraiser in here as well. If I do a summary of environment, keeping the same time frame, then of course I'm going to be seeing 12 items. Yeah, wow. Wow. Yeah. All of them Clear Creek Trail. Lots of activities in here. Qualifies. I can go back to edit hours. Yes. What up to? In fact, let me demonstrate. Per question, when is the database tabulated? It is. It goes through a verification check. I understand, and I understand that that verification is automated, but it's not, you don't see the results instantaneously. For instance, and I'm going to come back to this editing, how far back. I go back to the current fiscal year. I go back to that and want to observe, let me all these items right here that I just deleted. The dialogue showed that it takes 24 hours for that to be reflected here. So there's a buffer in there somewhere, somehow. And the question, how far back can you go? Well, let me bring up all of my previous and look at the earliest one way down there on the bottom. And this was in 2023. I click on the service activity serial number. Here's the details. And there's my edit button. I can modify that, even though it took place a couple of years ago. I can go in here and modify and tweak it the way I need to. Cool stuff. All right, I'm gonna I failed to point out, boys and girls. Look at this. I clicked on that service activity. It brought it up in a separate tab. If I close this tab, there's a separate tab for each of my different activities that I've been playing with. Yeah, it's all there. Yeah, okay. So now I'm back to where I started. So service activities, it's not a difficult thing. Every Lions Club member can go into the portal, go into service, and they can create a service activity. It requires the club secretary, president, or service chair to complete it and report it up to LCI. but any club member can generate the information so that the one of the other folks in the club can actually feed the information upline to international. I've had some good questions in the chat. If you'd like, you can open up the Chaz. Yeah, talk to me.
Rock and roll.
You
Okay.
got to turn on your
So,
mic.
oh, what the heck? You don't want that. Trust me, you don't want that. You just said that any Lion can maybe update the service project info. I guess I'm just asking you to confirm what you've already just said.
Right.
It sounds like there could be complications with that for maybe people who are not computer savvy. And I just created a collaboration folder tonight that my I'm going to try to get my club to use so that they can aggregate their hours for a given activity, and then maybe I could put it into the service project themselves. But sounds like you're saying that they could update the service project themselves.
You bet. Exactly right. And for this information to be fed upline to international requires the president, secretary, or service chair to do that for you. So we good on that one, Chaz?
I'm
I'm not.
sorry, Al. I was distracting myself looking to turn stuff off or whatever. Could you please repeat that last sentence?
Sure. Any club member can report service activities with all of the attendant details. However, in order for that information to get to Lions International, it requires the, if I can use the phrase, approval. Go in to the to that service activity and complete the report to send it upline to Lions International. So it remains in limbo, it remains in draft form until that is done.
And which official is certifying it?
Either president, secretary, or service chair.
Good to know. Thank you.
Right, welcome. Other questions? I like that instant response. This is great. Oh, Linda looks like she wants to turn on her mic. I still can't hear you. You got to turn on the mic. Yeah, you're in your Windows in your I'm sorry, in your Zoom window at the bottom left corner is a little microphone thingy, and it's probably got a slash through it. You click on that to turn on your mic. Hey,
Okay,
there you
how's
are.
that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm fairly new to importing the data into the LCI portal. It's I find it very difficult to manipulate because it's so detailed. Um, but I've been managing for the last year. You've clarified some stuff for me. Thank you. The question about going back and editing hours is related to a problem that we have with a service activity that's cumulative up to an event, like, for example, a garage sale or a calendar sale event, which takes place over months to a termination point, at which point we donate the monies to a designated service.
Mhm.
So I'm having trouble entering that in because if I enter it as a fundraiser or a donation, and by the way, I did ask a question, I think. What the heck is the difference between a fundraiser and a donation? Because everything that we do is fundraising to make a donation.
Right. For a lot of clubs, well, it depends on the event, but for a lot of clubs, a fundraiser, of course, generates a donation. However, a donation that is made to your club, not via a fundraiser. For instance, someone shows up at your club doorstep and says, I'd like to donate 50 bucks. That's a donation, not a fundraiser.
Okay, so we're not actually performing a service in receipt of a donation then.
Right. Right.
But that's not completely true though. If we provide a food service at a wedding, for example,
Mhm.
and we get a donation, whether or not it was anticipated or not, how do I list that? How do I put that in the LCI portal as a function and correctly enter it? It's a single event,
Right.
right?
If that single event, whatever the purpose of the event, is for fundraising, then of course it would be done via fundraiser and then accumulating, making a donation. However, if the event is a service event, not a fundraiser, and someone makes a donation, that's a donation, not via fundraiser.
Okay. Um, I guess we just have to make a decision one way or
Oh, yeah.
another and how we classify it because
Yep.
for the most part, thank you for clarifying the signature activity because we have these two major events that we do every year,
Okay.
and we are well known for those. So I'm going to start flagging that as or tagging it as a signature activity. Is there any extra weight in terms of points that are assigned to a club that does? Humanitarian service versus just humanitarian a general service? Is there any weight to what type of service a club offers to their community?
Not really. It's just a matter of classifying the information so that when people want details, this is one of the tools that they can use to obtain those details. But I want to go back to your question about cumulative, where you've got a garage sale or an event that does not take place one day. It takes place over a week or several weeks,
Several months.
several months. I would suggest utilizing Chaz's strategy of a separate location so that your folks can report. I was at the garage sale from 10 to 2 on Sunday afternoon, and while I was there, by the way, we got a separate donation of $50. A separate location where they can assemble all of this information, and everybody has access to it. And then you, at the end of it, when everything is wrapped up and you've made your donation, can take all this information, do the addition, and then make the report up to Lions International.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Al. So what I tried this month was that I entered for the garage sale, which we collect for starting in January. Our garage sale is in June. So I entered a separate garage sale event as a fundraiser
Uh,
and entered excuse me for saying this, but a fake dollar amount because as soon as you say fundraiser or donation, it's an obligatory entry
right,
in the record. Otherwise, it won't save it.
right, right.
Right. So can I
Save it as a
enter in a bogus number? And that's
right.
why I had my question about can I edit hours after the fact?
Yes, absolutely. And again,
Okay.
you click on that link listing the unique identifier for that service activity,
Yep.
hit the edit button at the top right, and
Yep.
everything is available for you to change.
That's totally cool. I didn't realize I could go back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to be in jail.
No, not at all. Yeah, we have Lions International Portal Jail, and the Portal Police are going to come looking for you.
Any kind of jail. Okay, so thank you. No, this has been quite good
Good.
for me to. So I don't want to take any more time for anybody else's questions.
Yeah. Well, we don't mind taking up Charles's time, do we? Carol or Constance, questions?
No, I don't really have any questions, because I was following quite
Yeah.
along, so it seems quite simple to enter the information. So,
It takes a bit of practice. It does.
like, I mean, if you just follow the drop down, I'm sure I haven't done it, so just going following you
Mm,
with
mm,
updating the file, it seems, you just find exactly something that fits what you're
Yep,
doing,
yep,
and then you go right along.
yep, exactly right.
But maybe once I start doing stuff like that, then that's when you get all the quirk. You sit down, it's fine listening, but when you're actually doing the work,
Right.
then that's when you find all the mistakes, or not the mistakes, but the bugs.
Oh, we all make the mistakes, and we encounter the bugs in the worst place possible. But
The,
yeah,
the activity types I find are, sorry for interrupting, I find can be quite restrictive, Constance. If you have a number of activities in your club, some are not donations, some are not humanitarian services is such a um, broad category, and I just hate other. It's
yeah,
just like a catch-all basket.
it is. Yeah,
When we're actually providing a valued service to our local community thrift shop and Meals on Wheels, we dedicate services by our club members every month to these community services, and yet it's just bunched into other,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it seems kind of lost. So I make a big description about what we do, and I don't even know who sees that.
Well, I do like the fact that the notes fields where you can, type in descriptions. I do like the fact that it is quite large. I think the maximum number of characters it can handle is 3,000. I mean, you can put a lot of stuff in there.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
don't
make
tell
use of
them. I'm not writing a novel, but I make sure that I make it clear what we do,
it.
and what what the community how the community receives that service, because
Right.
it's hard to get volunteers spread across a small community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, 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 here. We have someone on an iPhone who's got their hand raised. Talk to us.
Yes. Hi. Sorry, I thought my name was up there. My name is Abra.
Hi.
Um, so I I started inputting data today for the first time, and I ran across the donation. So once I started going through it, it got to a part where I'm losing my train of thought. It was asking about the organization that benefited. So I didn't know what to put in there because the what we do is it's for adoptive family. We have two families, and they don't receive any monetary value. So it's like, what would we put in that box? Because I couldn't submit anything until I answered that.
Well, there's got to be some organization behind this event, this effort. Um, Sometimes it's a bank, sometimes it's a community agency, municipal or government agency. There's got to be an organization behind it.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I would,
because I was stumped on that, on who I would put,
right.
what I would put down.
Yeah. Yeah, I would I would use the name of that agency. And sometimes there's one of our neighboring clubs does a annual event with Christmas, and it's a bank that coordinates the whole thing. And so they list the bank as that organization. So and if it's your club
Okay.
that's doing the entire thing, then cite your club as the organization that's doing it.
Okay, simple enough. All
Yeah,
right, thank you so much.
sure.
Can I just say, is this the first time your club is doing that? I'm asking.
Honestly, I don't know as far as when it comes to donating to that cause. So that's why I was a little lost on how I would report that, because I know that money was donated for that cause.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't realize I could go as far back as a year and look and see, search for what they might have put if somebody has donated before, which I'm sure they have.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Because you could then use that information.
Yep.
And as Al
Right.
said, we do the bank thing. We have something with a bank, a Christmas tree.
Mhm.
We call it,
Mhm.
it's a angel fund, and
Ah.
it's with the bank, and they have a Christmas tree, and we
Okay.
give them a certain amount of money, and they apply it to many names that they receive, and then they put it on the Christmas tree from us.
Right. Yeah.
But the check is
Okay.
written to the Angel Christmas Fund, the bank, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Carol.
Yes, hi. I have been entering service activities for over 2 years. I find the system quite stable, and but I am now a service chair. So that is why I wanted to attend tonight's meeting. And everything is actually quite straightforward because I've been doing it for a while. So
Ah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practice helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very cool. All right. Other questions, other thoughts? Chaz, talk to us.
It's going to be a little off topic, not regarding the service reporting. I think you did a video on grant writing. Once I get this hammered down, then I think I could probably be doing the club a favor if I were to look into grant writing.
I didn't do a session on grant writing per se. I did a session on grants that are available. And we looked at grants from LCIF, LCI, and we talked about grants that are available from various non-Lions organizations within your community. So, and it's up on the YouTube channel. Good questions here tonight. Other questions or thoughts? Okay.
So Al, can we
Yeah.
go back to my question about the cumulative services over months culminating in a final event? So it's okay for me to enter in. What I'm worried about is typically the garage sale ends up, we end up earning around $2,500 up to $3,000 for donation to the disabled kids couch and bay summer fund, the camp fund.
Right.
And so I can go back now. I see I can go back and I can edit the data that I put in there, but then wouldn't that nullify that record? Because I'm entering it as a fundraiser, just to be clear. Let's say we start in January and we're gathering articles for the garage sale, and I put in a dummy number because I have to in January, and say in February, March, and then when we have the actual sale, and then I get the real number, what do I do with those previous records?
First of all, it's considered one record, and I expect that in the LCI database that they also record all the changes that you make to that record. I presume that. I presume that. But for your purpose, it is one record, and when you modify that one record, you're not nullifying anything. You're just modifying existing information.
It's kind of tough though, because if it all culminates in a final event, that is the actual sale, where there's been 100 hours for setup and then 79 hours for the actual sale. Can I put 179 hours for the actual? Aren't they going to go what?
Initially, I don't think so, because you're also going to include the time span. It started on one day and it concluded 6 months later.
Oh, I can change that in the calendar then?
Oh,
When I
yes.
enter
Yeah,
that
you can
record?
edit. You bet. You can edit all that stuff after the fact.
I never
Absolutely.
thought of that. I could change.
Yeah.
change the
Because
recording
they know
time.
that folks like you are going to be coming in and making changes, you see?
Okay. So I could do that for the garage sale and for the calendar sales,
Sure.
which is weird. Okay. So all right, I'll go back and I will change. That's why I was worried because our garage sale was in June. So I have all these bogus numbers in
Right.
there
Sure.
that I were keeping as place markers
Yep.
because I didn't want to lose the hours.
Yes.
But then the culmination of it was the day,
Um,
right?
Yep. While we're on the topic of an event that cumulative that takes over a period of months, I would encourage that you make sure that your fellow club members know that you really need one person inputting the information into that event, not several of them, because then you're going to get into conflicting information and guesswork and so forth and so on. If one person coordinates all that information and one person does the actual input, then you're going to have much better control and much more accurate information being assembled.
Thank you, Al. And that's what my job is. I collect the hours. I'm the one that does it.
Good for you.
So
Cool.
I'm a central point, and as hard as it seems, we get there. But it just so that I didn't want to. I didn't know how strict the reporting structure was, even though I know it's important based on what you've told us when at the beginning of the webinar, and I respect that. So I have to relay that back to my club members. I'm a club administrator. They actually created a new position for me because this used to be done by the president.
Oh, yeah.
And so when she resigned, she said, "Oh, you could do it." Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
So Jojo actually, our district chair, designated a position for this.
Yes. Yes.
Which is pretty cool, actually.
It is pretty cool. They and you know that Lions International recognized a long time ago the need for this position. And I should have mentioned, the actual reporting of the information that's set up can be done by the president, secretary, service chair, and club admin. So
Okay, thank
so
you.
yeah, you are absolutely correct.
Yeah. No, this is good. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Glad to help out. Other questions or thoughts? Okay. If there is nothing else, wait a minute, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. That one. Okay, because
No.
there it is. There's my email address. If questions come up at a later time, don't hesitate to contact me. Or if a question comes up, we all know how to get a hold of Linda Gabriel. She knows everything.
I don't think so. You're a good teacher, though.
All right. So let's do a wrap up. And final thought is the quote from past District Governor Sharon Sykes. Let's go forward and do great things. Good night, all.
Here, here.
Quite welcome.